We have a lot to talk about tonight, and I want to start tonight's chat off with talking about your new video, the new version that you have of your song "Pay You Back." Um,
Yeah, lounge pay you back. Yes.
yep. So I've watched the video several times. It's technologically, it's very impressive with the 4D presentation. Can you go over how that came about? And um,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
pretty
I mean,
cool.
it's really only a kind of a teaser. It's kind of a beta test of what could really be done. In other words, the technology that 4D uses, that company, allows for the complete immersive experience in what's now called the metaverse,
Sure.
where with an Oculus headset, until they can get rid of that with some little glasses, you enter the space and you navigate the space and do whatever you want and go wherever you want in real time, right?
Wow.
And
Okay.
now the technique by which they shot that footage, um, all the all the data is there. All the like 30 some cameras and pixelated blah blah, it's all there.
Okay.
And it's just up to them to direct their resources to finishing this thing so that a person, a user, consumer, whatever we're called these days, could go in there and really experience what I experienced in a test 2.5 years ago, which is, many people have experienced. It's mind blowing. You're in it. You feel like you're in it. You
Yep.
feel it's three-dimensional. You almost feel sick, like motion sickness on a boat or something, or vertigo.
Once you get out of there, once you get,
Yeah, yeah, you're
yeah,
in there and you're like, you're really in there and you
that's because
can't
all your
tell where
senses
the
are going,
road
and
is.
yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And and so what you're seeing is just a beta test teaser where we made a pass through with some edits to simulate what a user might experience if they were in there, almost like a drone, like a
Wow.
drone. And it's a pale 2D, you know, teaser on what really happens when you're in the space, and it's truly three-dimensional. Truly you feel disoriented, like you're in there.
Well, is
Uh,
there interaction between the avatars or anything like that?
well, that's the next phase. That's what they're supposed to be.
Wow.
That's and the technology is all there. It's a matter of money to spend rendering the data to make that happen. And of course, if you're Kiss, you get to be avatars because somebody's going to roll 200 million into you
100 million
because
I
you're
saw in
Kiss.
the interview. Yeah.
And I started trying to do this 3 years ago where I wanted Devo to be avatars in the metaverse. I thought, what band deserves more to be immortalized in that way than Devo? Because we were like a concept, not just a band with cult of personality. This was an idea that could outlive the people that were in the band.
Certainly.
We could all die, but the concept of de-evolution and the body of work we did that was informed by that alternate worldview could be immortalized in the metaverse. And I thought, we want to do that. So when 4D came forward and reached out to Devo, I was all excited. But, I guess I was talking to the hand because no one else in the band even wanted to go down and visit the facility.
Holy
So
cow.
I did, I did
Yeah.
because I try to remain creative. I try to do what I can do within the confines of what I can do, right? And so they said, well, do you have anything you want to do? And I said, well, I have this song and I'd like to do a lounge version of it. Would you shoot that? And they go, yeah, we'll do that only if we can use it as a demo of our
See what can be
potential.
done. Sure. Yeah.
So 2 years later, there it is. I did that with Josh Freese before he was in the Foo Fighters, and I did it with Steve Bartek, a good friend and collaborator from Oingo Boingo.
You go, sure.
Hired a couple dancers, and you know, did what I could.
It to me it's impressive, Gerry, because when I saw the initial version of "I'm Going to Pay You Back," that alone blew me away with the animation, and I can't even comprehend how that was done. And now you've taken it, amped it up a bit, which is it's incredible.
Or dumbed it down a bit, as in my case. I mean, look, the original that I work with my great friend that I just champion. He's a brilliant artist, Davey Force, the animator, Davey Force. That thing we did on a shoestring budget, the original Pay You Back,
Wow.
was this idea that we had both had for a long time that nobody'd been able to, execute, which was shoot live action and then morph it into something that resembled the Marvel comic universe, like a graphic
Absolutely.
novel.
Yeah.
And I mean, not that other people hadn't tried that in their own way. I mean, um, what's his name? Great director. He did a couple famous slacker movies, and he did one where early on with really crude technology, he made an animated version of live action. And I'm
Wow.
just trying
Wow.
to.
I can't I'll put my finger on it, but we you got the Spider-Verse, which is kind of that same kind of draw
That's it.
going
And I
on.
loved doing that. And I loved working with Davey. And then we did another one with the Invisible Man. Afterwards, we did the song The Invisible Man with the
Yep.
same techniques of marrying live action to uh, a program, which is early AI. It really is. Um, it's a program that morphs uh, live action into the Marvel comic universe kind of look. And I loved it. I do what I can, under the budget. These were all favors. This was all art. It was, there was no money behind me, no label, nothing. I'm
From
I
a
remained true to what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? That Devo was do it yourself, DIY,
yeah,
and Devo was using every technology they could at the time that was emerging, right? Oh, but I mean, including, 16 millimeter film, which was hardly emerging, but it was
correct.
at, at the time using Kodak Ektachrome color reversal stock. That was a new thing because you didn't have to go to the negative. You were shooting it all, and it was in the colors you were shooting it, and it required lower light, and it was higher resolution than any other 16 at the time. So we were always doing that. And I just kept doing that.
You have the artist part of you and the director part of you getting
Right.
involved with all that. So that's is that a challenge sometimes, or is it just you figure out it, you have an idea, you have to figure out a way how to just get it done?
Well, it always was, kind of a dichotomy because artists are supposed to be, you know, idiot savants or children or something and leave the conscious kind of execution and analytical parts of that to people like directors or producers.
Sure.
But Devo was never that. Devo was in-house, right? Multimedia. We could produce ourselves. We were using the technology. We weren't ignorant. We weren't, you know, idiot savants, naive. And it's the same with me. I'm sorry. Yes, I had original creative ideas. I wrote songs. I wrote down video ideas, but I could also find out how to execute them and collaborate with people in that world with DPs and producers
Mhm.
and costume designers and set designers. You know, I understood it, and that's why I ended up directing commercials. I could
And
work with a crew of 30 people.
videos too. I did not know that you've worked with Rush and Soundgarden and the Cars shooting some of their videos.
I did about 100 videos over a 20-year period.
Wow. And something, if you so if you look at the different genres, so a video like Whip It, very different when it came out. Some people didn't really know what to make of it. And
Well, hopefully.
and that's Devo. But you have a song like from Soundgarden, "Blow Up the World," the outside world,
Oh
which
my
is
God, yeah.
which in
Yeah.
itself is such a powerful song. And to come up with the ideas, I'm sure Chris and the guys, kind of, came to you with certain ideas or, um,
No,
oh, really?
no,
Wow.
no. They came to me as one of 6 directors where they wanted a concept. That's how it worked back then,
Okay.
right? Directors would submit their concepts, and it could be like 10, 20 page treatment. And then it proceeds to storyboards. And in their case, they were so huge. They, even though they were, quote, grunge, they had been embraced by mainstream media
Absolutely.
and pushed by a major record company. They were megastars. And this turned out to be the last song and the last video they would ever do. And I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
Although on set, I kind of got the idea that something wasn't right because while they were all great guys, actually, each one of them, they didn't communicate with each other at all. They all had their own dressing rooms, their own handlers.
Wow.
Uh, and that's a 5 minute and 20-second dirge, blow up the outside world. And it kind of like, if I didn't take it as seriously as I should have at the time. It's like a guy that would write that song and sing that song, he's like suicidal.
You and that's hindsight. You listen to it now, and I was listening to it as I was researching for this interview, and I had goosebumps.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Little did I know, and that's the truth. You know, for me, it was a challenge because it's like, well, actually, on one level, this is a song that only Soundgarden fans can like because he's taking you down a rabbit hole of dark depression,
True story. Yep.
and it's a dirge. It goes on for 5 minutes and 20 seconds. It's like I thought, what am I going to do? You know, no wonder they came to me. Like they never gave me one of their, hits,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
They wanted me to save them, I think. And I
Oh,
tried.
God, the
And I
video
like the video very much. I
is
love it.
amazing. Right.
I, and they were very wonderful guys to work with, which is weird. Individually, each one of them were easy to talk to, and they're all smart. And then when it would come time to film a scene, it's like their handlers would go, okay, don't ask them to come out here until that camera's ready to roll. Don't make them stand. Don't make them do lighting tests. Use surrogates, use crew to do lighting tests. They just want to come out and the camera's got to roll right away.
It's a showtime.
And right. And so there'd be 3 different people going to 3 different dressing rooms to bring them out.
Wow.
Put them on, to put them
Well,
on the, yeah.
well,
Yeah.
the final product's amazing. So that's really good.
Yeah.
I had gotten this little DVD sent to me
Yeah.
a couple years ago, and I did a review on it. So it's just great to see the band performing, and songs like Mechanical Man and of course Satisfaction, two of my favorites. I remember seeing Devo perform Satisfaction on SNL.
Yeah.
For me, just as a viewer, it was incredible. But for you, where does that rank for things that you've done through your career?
Well, that's one of those seminal things where you are this completely disenfranchised Midwest group who've been laboring in the trenches anonymously. And you've done it as long, if not longer, than the Talking Heads or Television or Blondie or anybody embraced by the, you know, music community in a major city. And then suddenly your head's out of the water. You're up on the radar. And now you're going from unknown to national exposure with about 15 million people watching you. So literally, it feels like you're going to shit your pants. I mean, the adrenaline is unbelievable. And even though we had honed our act and we were very good at what we did, and we had played that song hundreds of times, being in that situation, a fish out of water, with you're live, you're on Saturday Night Live, you know, which you, for the last 3 years before that, you know, revered and bowed down to as the holy grail of television entertainment.
Sure.
That's cool. And everybody cool, that every comic, every act on it was the best, right? And now there you are. And the reality of it's bizarre because it's just really so insane, so part of a industry you don't even understand. And the crowd in the bleachers is right there about less than 20 feet from you, right? And they're hovering over you. And the whole scale of everything is very small and very hectic and really, really high pressure, right? High anxiety. And we were there and we had rehearsed, but then then it comes, and then you know you're live. And Lorne Michaels walks over on a commercial break. You know, you set up in your area that you rehearsed in.
Yep.
With flashlights only. You know, can't be, the room goes dark. So you're searching for your plugs and everything. And anyway, we get ready. He comes over with his assistant and they put a flashlight on his face. And so we can see him and he's looking at us and he goes, all right. When whatever his name was, the announcer, it wasn't Don Pardo, but it sounded like Don Pardo.
Yeah, it did, sure.
When you hear this guy go, and now, ladies and gentlemen, Devo, I just want you to start and play your ass off. I don't care how many things go wrong. I don't care if your guitars are out of tune. I don't care if something isn't plugged in. I don't care if one of you can't remember the lyrics. Don't blow it. 15 million people are watching you. And then the light goes out on his face and he walks away.
But Gerry, to have the balls to come on, you know, with you just, you know, setting that up and playing your own version of Satisfaction.
The week after the Rolling Stones.
I mean, God.
That's what I'm saying. This is a seminal, life-changing moment.
Wow.
Because this is what pissed off Jan Wenner. He thought Jan Wenner, who, you know, bowed down to the Rolling Stones as his gods and named his paper after, you know, the Rolling Stone.
Yeah. He
thought we were smartasses that were making fun of Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones. The farthest thing from the truth. Totally wrong. Mm-hmm. But that's what he decided, right? Because like you said, he thought, how can these fuckers come on here a week later and do this? And you can't even recognize the song. What the hell is this? And
mocking the Stones. Come on.
Now, what he totally didn't get was this was original, and that the music was a deconstruction of the original. Like, why would Devo do a faithful cover? We would have been dumb.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. We can't touch Mick Jagger in the
room with Devo. Yeah.
I mean, because those guys were cool and they were already successful. And Jagger's singing about getting no satisfaction, but he's, you know, having sex with every woman that he wants every night. And Devo, on the other hand, was really the band who could get no satisfaction. And at that point, we could never even get laid. So the song sounds like a band who can't get no satisfaction. The music makes you feel like you can't get no satisfaction.
The literal definition of it, yeah.
It's in substance.
Great.
And that's what we were after. you know, it's like, here's what no satisfaction sounds like, right?
Awesome.
It was like, yeah, I guess to people that came from a blues and rock background, what we sounded like was atrial fibrillation, right?
Their heads were spinning. I dug it, man. It was so awesome. Gerry, listen, I appreciate the conversation. I look forward to seeing what you have for us in the future.
Well, it's coming right up, by the way. I've been working on a suite of songs based on an indigenous American Indian mythology, which you will appreciate, I'm sure, as much as I did. And I can tell you the word right now, and you can look it up because I'm not going to bore you with a long explanation.
Okay.
The short explanation is it's their absolute trauma at encountering the white man,
Okay.
and called Wetiko, Wetiko, Wetiko.
Tico.
You can look it up. It's
And is it a series of videos
it's going to be, it's a suite of songs, and I'm going to make a video. Yeah,
sure, sure.
and it should be out at Record Store Day. Yeah,
For April? Usually
hopefully.
April, right?
Hopefully.
Cool.
Yeah,
We'll,
hopefully.
we'll look forward then. Gerry, again, it's a pleasure. You have yourself a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gerry.
Thanks.
Have a good night.